Good afternoon, Dr. Trinh. You are here today to talk to us about intermittent fasting and the keto and so on. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Of course. And thank you for inviting me to chat a little bit today on this topic. So, intermittent fasting is a term that is gaining more popularity.
Hold on, let me stop there a second. Good afternoon, Dr. Trinh. We are here today to talk about intermittent fasting and chronic diseases and inflammation, to give a little vignette on this subject. But first of all, we want to ask a little bit about you. Can you tell us a little bit about you, please?
Definitely. Thank you for the invite to chat with you today. And I'm a board-certified internist and someone who takes care of a lot of chronic diseases that go along with internal medicine. And by that, I mean diseases like hypertension, high cholesterol, diabetes, heart disease, cancers, and brain health like Alzheimer's and things of that sort. So I got into this field of studying intermittent fasting, or just fasting in general, from taking care of patients. The funny thing with internal medicine is that we, as physicians who are in the field, take care of a lot of conditions that has no cure. Hypertension, right? Diabetes, cholesterol problems, heart problems, and things of that sort. A lot of these conditions, there isn't a cure. That's why we call it chronic diseases. And they remain chronic. And our goal is essentially to maintain and make sure that these conditions and diseases are under control. I got into this field of intermittent fasting based on the research that I have been noticing that is being published on how fasting and simply fasting can make a significant difference in our health. And I'm not talking about going on, these starvation diets where you're not eating for 3, 4, 5 days. I'm not talking about, the 40 days of the fast that Jesus did, although he did ask us to be Christ-like. But I'm talking about fasting that's doable for the average person. And that simply can be, skipping maybe 1 out of 3 meals a day or things of that sort. And the data on fasting is really interesting. When we are fasting, we are activating certain metabolic processes that occur inside of us. We are rejuvenating certain processes, cellular processes, that advocates for health. I'm going to say some terminology for you here that some have heard and some have not. One terminology is autophagy. And I don't know if you ever heard of that before. Autophagy is a process where our body cleans itself out. Where it's kind of like, once a week, the trash truck comes and take out the trash in my front, the trash can I put out in my front yard on the street. And the trash truck comes by and takes it and cleans it out, cleans the trash out of my house. Your body has a trash truck that goes around cleaning out all the debris, all the damage that occurs within the body. And that includes damage from mutations of cells, aka cancer cells. That includes damages that lead to aging. And we activate autophagy during fasting. It's very interesting. So this is one process that occurs during fasting. Another process that occurs during fasting is the process of ketosis. Have you ever heard of ketosis before, Edna?
Yes, I have.
Right? Ketogenic diets, where a lot of this stuff comes from. Mm-hmm. I'm not an advocate of eating all the fat you want. Sometimes people say you can, as long as you don't eat sugar, you can eat all the fat you want. That's not a healthy diet, but there's a healthy way to get to this state of ketosis where your body makes ketones for energy in lieu of sugar. And when we have a chance to discuss this in a more detailed lecture, I will talk about ketosis. I will talk about autophagy. I will talk about longevity and how this plays a role with intermittent fasting, because there's a lot of metabolic processes that's backed by clinical research that has shown the benefit of intermittent fasting. And so I hope I give you a good overview of what that means.
You did, and thank you for that. And we look forward to hearing more about that in a longer session. Thank you, Dr. Trinh.